That's not good. Hello and welcome back to Off the Mountain. Well, as you just heard, there's some noise coming from that there piece of plastic, but I figured I'd do a quick video to show how to repair this, because I've had this happen now twice. This is the second time, and this door is not small. It's got some depth on it. Ignore the mess, and everything's a mess here on Off the Mountain. But that piece up there is a piece that's failed. Now, if your garage door opener does this, that little track is its own thing, and you can order this piece fairly inexpensively. Looks like this. It's got these little teeth on it. So what ends up happening is that these get kind of ground down over time. And like I said, my other garage door opener did this. Now, in lieu of actually fixing it and putting one of those spiffy roller thingies up there, which I've thought about doing, it's just kind of cost prohibitive right now. Maybe you can relate. So we're just going to do the quote-unquote cheap fix. But in order to do that, we got to get up there. We got to pull the pins on this thing, release it, and do some other stuff. Because of course, you don't really want this bit right here to kind of come out of track. So it's in there. It's in there pretty good. So yeah, and like you can take the new one and bloop, it kind of puts these little teeth up. Anyway, so that's what this thing is for. That's what it does. And when yours makes that hellacious noise, it's probably that. So let's get into it. Let's get up there and do some cool stuff. So the first thing we're going to do before we even get up there is we're going to pull this little guy. That way the tension's released. It'll be a lot easier when we get up there. And the nice thing is, see this. See when you got the part in your hand, you can see how that works. You know, it's got a little spring action there, and then boom, it's off the track. So now it should slide real nice, and we can manipulate it while we're up there. Cool. So let's get up there and take a look. Okay, now that we're up here, you can see now this, you know, is loose, which is good, because you don't want this under tension. Last thing you want to do is be on a ladder and pull this and anyway, getting a little closer look at it. There's a little pin right here, very similar to the pin over here. Unfortunately, I've got junk in the, okay, it's for the project, all right? I haven't got to it, I'm sorry. But you can see over here that there's just this little guy right there, and then we're gonna pull him out. I'm gonna get some gloves because, yeah, whatever. But we'll pull that out, and then maybe we'll pop these out so that we can move the track, because the track is a little wobbly, so it should move a little bit, so that we can kind of move it out of the way, slide it off, get a new one on, and then go to town. So let's get into it. Okay, a couple quick tools, and I'm cheating. I went ahead and got the magnetic thing. This is overkill for what I'm doing, but because I need to grab that guy off there. But I like to grab my channel locks so that I can get up here and just be like, all right, what size is it? I don't want to go up and down this ladder 15 times because you know how that goes. So get it on there real nice. And let's see, it is that size. Great. Perfect. Yay. All right. So and this is something I stole from my dad years ago. Oh, look at this. This is the tiniest little guy. Nom, 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 nom. But anyway, you need a pinchy thing. And now I'm going to put a quick glove on so I can pull this little guy out. Because now, like I said, nice one. I hope this video works, because I'm really at a disadvantage because I'm on the wrong side, and you shouldn't lean off your ladder because you're gonna die. All right, let's pull this down. There we go. Boom. Pin out. Stupid thing. All right, there that is. Good. Now we're gonna pull this little guy out real nice and gentle like. There we go. See, he's all gross. Probably clean that and put a fresh set on there. But we're just gonna let him hang. And now you see this little guy can go, but that's gonna get in the way. But good news. I mean, we could take those off, but I don't have the bits for it yet. Could just do it up here. See, I'm not a professional at this, by the way. I'm just a guy that knows how to do a few things and dumb enough to do it himself. So let's just try it. We got the channel locks here. I'm here. You're here. Let's just see. This is probably a dumb idea. Well, maybe not. I mean, I got some support back there, right? Come on, get on there. Oh wow, that is really on there. Maybe we should go get a socket. It's either 11 millimeters, 5 or 3/8. One of the two. Clearly my thing doesn't work. Hopefully this camera doesn't fall. Gonna go get some more parts and tools. And we're gonna punch a car along the way. No, 7/16. How about that? Or 11 millimeters. There we go. Get my favorite ratchet. Y'all usually just use an extension, regardless if you need it or not. I notice I use an extension a lot. I don't really know if I need it 99% of the time, but the other thing too about doing it yourself, one thing I found is you learn some things. Like there's some screws on here, I'll show them later, that don't look good. They look real bad. There we go. There's a little leverage there. A little leverage there. All right. All right. I'm sure these are some of those fancy one-time uses. No, they're not. But here, we're moving these out and hoping that those are gonna work. Hold on. Okay, come to find out, this is also helpful if you can see both sides. Clearly, this these two bolts, come to find out, are chilling on the other side. So I was like spinning it, and I'm like, why isn't this coming off? But now you can see this is nice and mobile, so hopefully we can get this thing off of there, yeah? This will be fun to do semi one-handed, as my kids are screaming outside. But let's see what happens. Oh, so close. I don't want to bend this any more than I have to, but maybe. Oh, well, that's a problem. This is why I wear gloves. How am I going to get that off? You were supposed to just slide right out, real nice like, and you're not. Why is that? You know what? I bet they did. I bet when they put this on, this piece of wood wasn't there. And when they bolted all this up, that's when they put the piece of wood up. The track, the final piece of track. Because you can see there's a big piece of wood here. By the way, those are those bolts I was telling you about. That looks janky as all get out, doesn't it? I mean, it's been holding, but all right, well, I guess we got to figure something out. This is not good. Okay, I honestly don't know how I'm going to make this work. Guess we're just going to have to do it together. Figure it out, huh? So, obviously this can bend a little bit. I don't want to bend it too much. But, oh, I'm getting goo all over my hands. Little persuasion, maybe? Nope. I'm gonna have to bend this thing pretty far to get that out. And that really sucks. I really don't want to do that. Maybe if I pick it up and move it over here, because I got kind of a hole here that I could push into. This is all the insulation I put in a little while ago. Fortunately, that wasn't on the video of any kind. It was a fun process over the course of a couple weeks, but you know, whatever. Yeah, maybe that. So let's slide this back a bit. Slide this over, and oh, I think it's gonna work. Yep. Okay, that worked. That worked. Okay. So now if we look at this here, grease everywhere. Okay. So you pull that up a little bit, and you can see those teeth are not looking good. They're pretty shot. Now also, I guess I could transfer that. So let me go ahead and do that. Whoever put this knot in did a really nice job. Anyway, let's do that. And I guess I needed 2 gloves. Oh. Look at that. Look at how, oh man. There's teeth. No teeth. Teeth. No teeth. So we'll hit this with a little bit of grease before we put it up and put the pull hook on it. But look at that. No wonder why it's chattering. All right. Anyway, on with it. All right, we're back up in the sky. Got a little grease on there. It says to use Genie lubricant. We're out of warranty. Yeah. So we're gonna use some of the good stuff. Now it does have a proper way. It's got a little arrow that tells you, hey, dummy, the door goes that way. So make sure you're gonna have bad time. So now we're just gonna pick this little guy up, and we switched up to black gloves. Sorry. We're gonna take this guy and we're gonna slide him on. Oh, this is tough. There we go. Get him back on there. And you see, boom, look at that. We're all back up and running. Now we're gonna take our little bolts here. Put that on there. I know you probably can't see this, but trust me, I'm doing it. Trust me, it's happening. I'm just getting it set, and then we'll move the camera over. Hopefully I don't have a bunch of grease on it. Getting grease on your camera is never a good day. Had that happen a couple times. So I'm gonna put these little bolts on, kind of tighten them down by hand so that we don't hate ourselves in about 30 seconds. And then I'm gonna move it just a little bit. Okay, all right. So here we go. See, look, we're all back up and running. And then we're just gonna take our ratchet here. We're gonna use our arm popping for torque spec. That's about good. And then we're gonna do this again. Again, using our arm. There we go. Let's do this one again, just for fun. Okay, now we got our little pin and cotter pin, and we're gonna take this little guy, we're gonna move them back up together, and this is gonna be real fun to do one-handed. So we're gonna try it, and if not, we'll just do a cut and be like, haha, it's done. Assuming all this stuff doesn't fall on the ground right now. All right, here we go. You know what? We're gonna move it this way because we can. There we go. Boom. Now we're gonna take our pin and we're gonna shove him back in there. You could always put a new one in. I don't know. I don't know. I think it's kind of a waste. Like, these things just they work. They've been around for centuries, it feels like. And I can't do this one-handed, but imagine I'm putting this guy back in there. Look, it's done. All right, cool. Let's get back to it. Okay. Number one, you got to pinch this little guy a little bit. Boom. And then for good measure, just pull it out just a tiny little bit. Okay, that won't work. So you know what? We got a little tiny, little pokey pincher thing. There, good enough. There you go. That's not going anywhere. Now you know it's right. All right, now. This is when I find out that the teeth are different. You gotta work that back and forth a couple times, but it'll latch. Don't worry. Don't worry. It'll freak you out a couple times. But all right. We're all back up and running. Let's test it out. But let's get this ladder out of the way first. It'd be a bad day. I'm confident. God, I hope I did this right. That would really suck to have to do it again. All right, let's get this out of the way. Don't hit anything. Don't hit a cart. Don't smash into things. All right. All right, let's see what happens. Should be good. Make sure. Yep. All right, here we go. Hey, wow. That's nice. Let's see if it fixes the closing problem. Nope. That has nothing to do with this. It's a total different problem. It's because I have these springs on there. It gives it just enough tension. If you're one of the garage door people, tell me how to fix that down below, if you would. I'd love to know that. Because it's been like this since I put these springs on, and it pushes the door shut. But please, ignore my hack. There it goes. All right, awesome. Well, and that's it for Off the Mountain today. Thank you so much for this 600. Okay. So the video that I did originally just cut for no reason. So yeah, I did a wardrobe change just for this. I had to come out and reshoot it. So thank you so much for the 639, 38 subscribers. I should have written this down before I walked out here. But thank you so much. Love it that you're here. Hopefully this saves you $1 or $2, or at least like, oh yeah, I could totally do that myself. Because as you know, the time has rolled on, it's like, I got to get this out of my head. I want to show it to you all, and I really hope that you had a lot of fun with this. I know I did. Thankfully it worked really, really well, and it was an easy part. Just make sure you get it from a reputable dealer. There was some sketchy stuff on Amazon. So I'll link the slide down below, but just be careful as to who you buy it from. Give them a 5-second look, okay? But anyway, thank you so much for watching. We will talk soon, and more cool stuff coming. See you later. Completely separate. Does anybody do this? Like, I just kind of like throw all my stuff here, and then like I'll clean it up when I'm done. You know, take that, throw that. Don't look at that. That's something else. That's don't look at that either. But I just kind of dump everything here, and then eventually yeah, it's kind of a mess. Anyway, on with it.